That's what I thought would happen. There we go. So let me congratulate you a second time for getting up, getting dressed, finding your way to the church building, and then finding a seat and sitting down and relaxing. So I want you to just breathe for a minute. You've made it here. Let's just spend some time together talking about God's Word. This summer we celebrated my parents' 60th anniversary, and as part of that, our family gathered at the Little Fletwood United Church across from where my uncles have some cabins. And it was a couple minutes from where I grew up on the farm in southeast Saskatchewan. And my grandparents are buried in that cemetery. Well, probably my great-grandparents too. My parents will be buried in that cemetery. My aunts and uncles will be buried in that cemetery. When you go in the building and you find a seat, it's not as comfortable as these seats. They're wood, and the pews creak quite alarmingly as you sit down. You wonder if you ate too much at the celebration. The floors slope significantly away from the middle, so when you sit on either end, you're below there. The floors actually creak as you walk. They usually hold one service a year there. It's been many, many years since there was any people going to worship there, but they usually, once a year, they do that. This morning, this church building here, the Airdrie United Church, will have its last gathering. There will be one last sermon preached, some songs sang, and then the building will be destroyed. It was built in the early 1920s, and it's deteriorated so badly that today will be its last day. That's a trend that has become disturbingly common over the last 30 years. In their book, The Great Dechurching, help me. Jim Davis and Michael Graham note that every week, 86 churches are closing their doors in the United States. That over the last 30 years, 40 million people in America, that is 1 out of every 6, have stopped going to church. I invite you to just think about that number for a minute. 40 million. One of those churches that closed this year was pastored by this man, Ryan Burge. During the week, he works as an associate professor of political science at Eastern Illinois University. 17 years ago, he was a college student, and somehow he was convinced and hired to pastor this church. There were 50 people in the church building, but the auditorium seated 300. And over those 17 years, as people have moved, he writes, "I have unwillingly and unknowingly joined a fraternity of pastors who closed